Welcome to part 2 of the Pre-Avengers Infinity War special of Comment Section. After the theme, you'll hear our ranking of every one of the current 18 MCU films, and our thoughts and expectations of the coming film. The trip down the rabbit hole is only just beginning. I guess that first part was really a comment section where you're talking about the news.
Yes.
The second part is the special part where we're gonna talk about we're gonna celebrate before Avengers Infinity War comes out by ranking our, unless there's anything before that you want to do, but in some point in this episode we're gonna rank Marvel movies.
I would think we should do that first.
Okay.
So here's what my idea was.
Yeah.
Now I know your list is shorter than mine because you haven't seen any of them.
Yeah. Well, I haven't seen any.
Yeah, you fraud!
I haven't seen a single Marvel
fraud!
movie.
You lied to me. He said he saw Black Panther. You liar!
That'd be so funny. I'm just gonna rank them by how cool they seem.
Oh, I watched the trailer. Does that count? Oh, okay. So you haven't seen all of them.
I've seen the majority of them, but I
your
haven't
list
seen
is
all
going to
of
be
them.
shorter than mine. And also, we'll do some, kind of ideas or what have. And then I wrote a few rabbit hole questions about the MCU. I don't know if you were able to think of any. Or...
I just prepared a top 5, basically.
Okay.
So
we were watching The Office a little bit ago. I had an idea for a rabbit hole question. Now I've lost it. So
all right.
if I go Eureka or shout out in excitement, it means I remembered it.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Here we go. Oh, it just came to me. So, say something while I write it down so I don't forget later.
Okay, so, yes. What we decided, like, as a recap, just to kind of gain our get hold of our britches again, we have ranked every single Marvel, at least he has ranked every single Marvel movie from worst to best. And we're going to go worst to best, right?
Yes.
And he probably has them in more recent memory than I do, and heck,
I rewatched all of them, well, except for the first Guardians, before Black Panther.
Yeah, so
I almost didn't include the first Guardians, but I'm just like, I have seen it, I know how I feel, so.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I was just thinking of doing a top 5, because I don't want to, like, rank ones where I don't feel like I'm doing it justice.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to, like, throw a few under the bus where it's like, I really don't remember
That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's what you're here for.
Yes. All right, so here we go with, God, how many movies has it been? I think it's been 18.
18, I think.
18. So that's counting Black.
Yeah. Black Panther was the last
on the list. So
there's
18. Okay, so we got 18 movies. I'm going to start with my bottom.
So this is I take it number 18.
Yes, you would be correct.
Yeah. What's your worst Marvel movie?
Well,
Marvel Cinematic Universe movie.
Yes, Marvel Cinematic Universe movie.
So
it will always
it
will always be the Ang Lee Hulk. Is the worst.
Yeah.
I tried to rewatch. Oh my God, it is. I would not be a Hulk fan if I had not discovered the Bill Bixby show right after. You know, when you talk about the worst, it's not fun to get to the worst.
It's not. We do it a lot on this show, but
I have said a few things I'm going to contradict. Mm-hmm. And I said this on an episode we haven't released yet. So that's, once again, showing how organized we are.
Yeah, I didn't think we mentioned. This is episode 21.
Yes.
Right? This drinking legal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for a celebration.
I mentioned about how it's going to contradict because I was just like, do I be really honest with myself? Mm-hmm. It's a moment just like, I could say what I thought at one time and what I'm sure a lot of people want to hear, or I can just be like, you know what, it's time to accept it. Mm-hmm. So my number 18,
your least favorite,
the worst Marvel Cinematic Universe film to me, goes to Spider-Man: Homecoming.
I had a feeling.
I've talked about Spider-Man: Homecoming so many times.
It's top 3 most discussed things on the podcast.
I will just go through a quick thing real quick.
Yeah.
And look, no one walks into a movie hoping for it to be bad. Mm-hmm. I was real excited for this movie.
Yeah.
And, as you can, I struggled just to, I don't like this movie.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I hate the stupid Iron Man Jr. suit. It was dumb. Yeah, so I hate Ned.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
The stupid little Easter egg showing that Mary Jane doesn't exist in this universe. So, my worst one is Spider-Man Homecoming.
Okay.
I think it's by far the worst Spider-Man movie. And I'm not being over dramatic here. I'm being completely
that's
honest.
your opinion. That's what this is all about. It's all about our opinions, so.
You know, it killed the franchise for me. And some people are just like, what are you talking about? I'm going to be completely honest. I don't plan on seeing the second one. So
It would have to, I mean, yeah.
It's dead to me now.
Yeah.
Unless Infinity War can fix it, but even then it's a little bit like, do I want to see it with the same director? Because, I mean, look, the story is weak. And I'll be honest. I think Tom Holland's a great Spider-Man. If I had to rank them, he's my third favorite. But it's almost like saying, you know,
They're all so
Dean
good.
Cain is great, but Christopher Reeve and Tom Welling I prefer. It's just Dean Cain is amazing.
Yeah.
It's just I prefer the other
Yeah,
two.
they're all great.
Yes.
So it's not, yeah.
It's not like the cartoons where it's just like Christopher Daniel Barnes and Josh Keaton, Drake Bell.
Right.
So, but I can say this. I felt, I don't know if you felt the same way. The performance we had in Civil War, in Homecoming, wasn't as good as Civil War. And I felt like it's a little bit like the director's job was to make it a comedy. So there are some moments where he comes off a little annoying. He's doing the best he can.
Yeah, I mean,
And I feel like if he wasn't as great an actor, it would have made the movie worse.
No, I really, to me, the reason why I ended up, like, having an overall above neutral opinion about Spider-Man Homecoming is because of how good he did as Spider-Man. So, I liked him in both Civil War and Homecoming, but he carried it to me.
can say this, and I don't know if you feel the same way. It felt, if you compare this to Civil War, it feels like a completely different character.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, even like,
it's a different movie.
I listened to what you said about, he's learning to be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. But then I rewatched Civil War. He already knows that. I mean, he's looking out for the little guy. I'm just like,
I think at the time I hadn't seen Civil War. To be
no,
fair,
you hadn't.
But
but I hadn't. I rewatched him, just like, you know what? His point doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So it's just like it feels like two separate characters for me. What we got advertised in Civil War isn't what we got in Homecoming.
I think absolutely. It's just that for a lot of people, and I do take it a lot of people, that doesn't necessarily matter to them. Like, that they can see them both as good and different.
Do you think? I think Aunt May was completely flip-flopped. Like, in Civil War, she's like she's a normal. This one, they dumbed her down.
I guess that really does have to do with the directors.
Like she plays it so differently.
Yeah. Yeah, it is tough, but
I just have a question to ask. Mm-hmm. So, we've seen movies like The Dark Knight Rises. When it first came out, people loved it. Remember, there was a time people said Batman Begins was the worst of the trilogy.
Yeah.
But now it's fallen. I think Homecoming will fall. I think it's already started to fall.
Really?
I think Homecoming 2 will make less, because I think the shtick of Spider-Man with the Avengers is going to be done after 3 movies.
Yeah, I can
You
see
can't
that.
just rely on that shtick again.
That's why, I mean, my hope is that they'll go in a different direction.
Did you hear
with the next
what
one.
the plan is?
I probably did not.
The rumor? We don't know if it's true or not. The rumor is that it takes place in Europe.
Oh.
Over a class trip.
Okay, so that sounds like more of the same to me. I mean, I'm personally more in the camp of I'm gonna have to wait and see, and I haven't completely lost hope or anything, but
I mean, I really hope that that Infinity War can fix it.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit like, just because these guys, who are, in my opinion, the best Marvel directors, did it, doesn't mean this guy's gonna do it.
Yeah, like in, Civil War did it right, you thought, but then not Homecoming. Yeah. So it's possible that he could be amazing in Infinity War, and then it fails again in the next.
Was that a pun?
Okay, but okay. Well, because this isn't a review and we have 17 more.
Yes.
And we've talked about Spider-Man Homecoming a lot.
We talked about a
lot. So what's your number 17 then?
So, oh, man. I know this is going to make people mad, but whatever. It's just someone's opinion.
Okay.
Look, whenever there's it's almost look, Marvel Studios keeps releasing bunches of movies. Mm-hmm. Not all of them are going to work for everyone.
Right.
Even though I love the Marvel Cinematic Universe, not everything they put out is going to be for me. So, it's a little bit like if you're a Disney fan. Not every Disney cartoon is going to be for you. Not every Pixar movie is going to be for you. It feels like that with Pixar, but then you have the Cars movies.
Right.
So, my number 17 is Guardians of the Galaxy. It's not for me.
Yeah.
I don't like how jokey it is. I don't think for me, to be honest, feels like a poor Star Wars ripoff. It's just not for me.
So it's 17, not for you, basically.
It's just, look, I'm glad people, it's just not for me.
Yeah.
That would make number 16, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Did you end up actually seeing it?
I did watch it.
Okay.
And I do like it more than the first one. And to be honest, if I had to rewatch another one, it would be that one.
Yeah.
I liked the stuff about, like, Peter with his dad.
Yeah.
And it's about, like, he meets his dad, and then his dad's an evil person. It's just like, oh, well, you already had this other father figure who gives up his life for you, and stuff like that. And I liked the Rocket and Groot stuff, I think. Yeah, if I remember it right. To be honest, I don't remember the two Guardians of the Galaxy movies that much. Maybe it's a mistake for me to watch them when I'm watching all the Marvel movies.
Yeah, they're very different.
Where I pop it in, I'm just like, all right, 2 hours. Well, how long till I get to the characters I care about?
Yeah,
so,
no, I mean, they're basically not for you. And if people are upset by that, they'll probably be more happy at my list, which we'll get to. But
so I do agree with you that I do like it more than the other one. And I didn't think, some people I heard say it's more jokey. I thought the humor worked better in this one. Just my opinion.
I thought, it's funny. We'll get to my list, but you're making me question my list again. But
I apologize.
It's so hard to pick.
Okay.
Let's move on to we're on 15, the next one.
Thank you for counting.
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep track.
This is the one that I said, not counting Guardians of the Galaxy, was my least favorite. And for a while, before I said it was Homecoming, it was this one.
Yeah. It's
a sequel. And I wasn't excited for the first one. I thought, man, it's going to suck. And then I watched and it was great. Then I go to the sequel, excited. And I'm just like, oh, well, maybe it was just a one-time thing. Yeah. So my number, was it 15? 15?
Yeah, 15.
Thank you for counting. Mr. Mathematician.
I'll try and remember.
Is Iron Man 2.
Okay.
It is so dull, so uninteresting, and it's just like, it almost feels like there's no kind of central plot. It feels like we're having this plot about the sons of, we had Howard Stark versus Anton Mercer, I think, and it's their sons versus each other, and then it stops, and it's all about Tony fixing his heart. I'm just like, I don't care. Get back to what I came here for.
Yeah.
And can I say something controversial?
Sure.
I don't understand how people complain about The Amazing Spider-Man 2, about how the Marvel Cinematic Universe would never do something like that when they did it with Iron Man 2. And I'll be honest, I think Amazing Spider-Man 2 was better. Like, I think it's more rewatchable. You know what? Like I said before with Spider-Man Homecoming, I'll say it for all the Star Wars Last Jedi fans. When you have a movie that you don't like, it makes the other ones more special. And even and it happened with me with Dark Knight Rises as Batman Returns became more special. It happened with me with The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I'm just like, hey, look, we have character development. I liked how the villain actually had something to do with Peter. It wasn't just like, oh yeah, well, Iron Man's busy. I guess I'll go after Bug Boy. So yeah, Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, and I'll say I don't have my whole list because the bottom was so fuzzy to me, but I think I would put Iron Man 2 at the bottom.
Yeah. Iron Man, yeah, there's some cool moments at the beginning, but then it just falls apart. You could probably edit it into a 30-minute thing.
A cool 30-minute special.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. All right. 14.
Okay. So my number 14 is Doctor Strange. So it's just, once again, it's I liked it, but it's not everything's going to be for everyone.
Yeah.
and I just don't care much about Doctor Strange. Nothing against it. I think it's a good movie. It's just, I think the other ones are better.
Yeah.
So,
I guess here's a question. Do you have a point at which, would you start rating these above neutral at this point, or are we getting there? Okay.
Yes, I would rate, yeah.
Okay.
I feel after Iron Man 2, then I like these movies.
Okay. So we're at...
No, never mind. That's a rabbit hole thing I'll mention.
Okay. But yeah, it's Friday the 13th
I'll just
today.
say, if Doctor Strange died in Infinity War, I'd be fine with it.
Yeah,
I'd just be like, okay,
that's fine.
Well, we all gotta go.
Yeah.
Why not enjoy
Everyone's
the
got to
go?
die, no matter how strange your name
Yes.
is. Yeah, it's Friday the 13th, and now we're on number 13.
Yes.
Still counting.
Oh, yes. So my next one is the one I think is the lowest rated on Rotten Tomatoes, is Thor: The Dark World.
Ah.
So this is a movie that I know it's a lot of people's least favorite. And look, Thor's not one of my favorite Marvel superheroes. In fact, I almost didn't go see his first solo movie, but I was just like, well, I was wrong about Iron Man, so
Yeah.
we'll give it a shot. So Thor: Dark World, I mean, it's okay. It's not my favorite. I mean, it's a little hard because if you watch the MCU in order, like I do a lot, that's how the movies live for me. Like,
Yeah.
it's more, I don't really have the memory anymore watching them in theater, but they live on in the memory. It's a little hard watching Thor: The Dark World and knowing after this is the Winter Soldier, how much longer?
Yeah.
So
I take it with a lot of these middle ones, it's going to be hard to say a lot because it's just like, they're fine.
I mean, it felt the most Thor and the most like why I wouldn't want a Thor movie, but I'm just like, it's not terrible. I mean, there's some cool stuff in it, but it's just okay.
Okay. That's one I have not seen, actually.
Thor: The Dark World?
Yeah, I haven't seen. So,
This would be 12.
12.
My number 12 is Avengers: Age of Ultron. So, it's I don't think it's a spoiler to say that Avengers is kind of towards the top. So I was excited for Avengers: Age of Ultron because it was really cool to see like them get put together. Now we get to see them actually do stuff. And this one was meh. I rewatched. I talked about how I didn't like Avengers: Age of Ultron, and then I rewatched it for Black Panther, and it went from this sucks to it's okay. And there's some good moments, but it's pretty forgettable.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like, it felt a little bit like too much of what we got the first time. And Ultron's a horrible villain.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they made him way too jokey. Like, I think I might have mentioned it on the show before. There's one line where just like,
I think
seeing
so.
you, I want to throw up in my mouth. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, just like, even if it, like, yeah, it's even if, like, they didn't even do good humor, I guess.
Yeah, it was just like, oh my God, guys. And James Spader, who I hate in The Office, had such a great voice for Ultron. And the trailers were good. It's just that it suffered in a weak plot, and the villain sucks. So
yeah, that's easy. 11.
11.
So,
here we go. Okay, this was my third favorite movie of the year last year, Thor: Ragnarok. I really enjoyed this movie. It was really cool to see a buddy comedy movie with Thor and the Hulk.
yeah.
It made up for not having them in Civil War. Although I think they say that this is what happens during Civil War. So
Oh, okay. So that's what they're doing. Wow,
so it's a little bit
okay.
like, here's
Seen
the
a different-
two-part Avengers. So
yeah.
Avengers 3.
Yeah.
Put them together, and that's what they were doing.
Yeah.
So I really liked it. I thought that, the previous movie, Spider-Man: Homecoming, I didn't think the humor worked. I thought the humor worked great in here. Didn't, overshadow anything. And the Hulk is one of my favorite Marvel characters. And I really like this. They said that Thor: Ragnarok was part 1 of this trilogy because they can't do a solo Hulk movie again because Universal has the distribution rights. So I really like the arc that they're doing for the Hulk. It was really cool to see him have a bigger role. And a Thor and Hulk movie, when you say it, you're just like, boy, this could be good or this could be really bad.
Yeah.
And I can say it worked. I felt it worked really well.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah, and it has great visuals.
Yes.
But okay. Top 10.
top 10.
Yep, that's where we are.
Okay, so when I was going to make this list a week ago, and I procrastinated until last night.
Yeah.
This movie was going to be below Thor Ragnarok. And then I rewatched. I'm just like, you know what? This movie's better than I remember.
Yeah.
And it's the first Thor movie.
Okay.
So, I don't know. Have you seen the first Thor?
I have not.
I mean, it's like how he finds out, like, you see him and Loki as kids with Odin. And they're kind of wondering, like, which of the two of them is going to be king. And they find out that Thor will be king. And then something happens to where he goes to fight the Frost Giants. Because they kind of, attacked Asgard. So he goes there and he attacks, and Owen's just like, you could have killed a bunch of people. So he takes away Thor's powers and plunges him to Earth. And it's about Thor becoming worthy to be Thor. So, yeah. I mean, it's a great movie. There's some really great moments in there. And you see kind of Loki and Thor before things went wrong, and then you see their relationship fall apart in this movie. Yeah. And it's why Thor and Loki have, I think, one of the best, enemy things in all superhero movies, because they keep coming back.
Right.
So we've seen their relationship over multiple films.
Right.
So Thor, I wasn't gonna put it this high, and then I rewatched it. And I'm just like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. These lists are tough. I had even less time to make my list. I probably started making the list 2 days ago, and I keep flipping just constantly. Even now, I'm just like, oh, I made a huge mistake. I'm not.
Yes, I don't know if you'll hear it on here, but I think I changed the list of mine right as we were recording.
Oh, really? Well, so 9.
My number 9 is Ant-Man. So, yeah, Ant-Man, once again, another movie, just like, do I want to see this?
Yeah.
And then I watched it, it was really good. This was a more jokey Marvel movie, and I thought the humor worked really well. See, guys, when the humor works, it can work. Just don't over freaking do it.
Yeah.
So, the humor here I thought was great. One of almost everyone's favorite character was, I'm forgetting his name. He's the friend who talks about, so I heard this thing from this one guy, and she tells me that she heard this thing from this other guy, and that's the whole story.
See, I just saw this when it was just kind of on, so I don't know that many details, so I don't know that guy's name either.
I'm blanking on his name, but he's almost everyone's favorite character.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Ant-Man... Really,
good, I guess.
Yeah, better than I expected.
They're getting so deep into Marvel characters, at least I would call this a deep pull from Marvel. That it's almost like, why would I want to see that? But then they're still good at me. It's still good.
It's almost just like, why should I see it? Oh, you made me care about these other characters.
Right. They've proven themselves most of the time.
Yes. So this would be 8 next, right?
8.
My number 8 is a controversial one, because I know a lot of people don't like this movie.
Ooh.
And my number 8 is Iron Man 3.
Okay.
So I know a lot of people don't like this movie for one specific reason, and I totally get it.
Okay.
I get the Mandarin thing.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
I really liked how this was a movie in which we saw Tony kind of figuring out that he can be a hero without the suit, and seeing what life is like for this human after what happened in New York. So I really liked that. Let's see. I get the Mandarin thing. It's just like, it didn't bother me. But if they had done that, because I don't know if you know, Mandarin is Iron Man's Joker. It's Iron Man's Lex Luthor.
Okay. Yeah, see, I think that's one reason it also didn't bother me that much, because I didn't have that connection to it at all.
So it's just like...
I learned about Mandarin from the movie.
Yeah. I get it, guys. Although I would have preferred that guy would have been the villain, because it's almost like the past versus the future.
Yeah.
I think that's a very interesting thing to see.
Yeah.
And I get it. And I can say, if they'd done that with Batman or Spider-Man, where it was just like, here's the Joker, imposter. Here's Doc Ock, imposter. I'd be mad too.
Yeah.
But because Iron Man is not one of my favorite characters, I just like, well, I'll go with it.
Yeah.
I still would have preferred it, because like I said, I think that would have been a more interesting story, but I was fine with it. I will say the one thing that annoyed me was that annoying kid.
I vaguely remember that.
You know what? I have a question to ask.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest. Do you think there's a chance the Spider-Man Homecoming script was written for him?
Oh, like that they wanted him to be Spider-Man?
Like,
or like
they wanted
him...
an Iron Man movie, but they weren't sure. But Robert Downey Jr. could only have a smaller role.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
something to think about.
Yeah. So, and I hate that he's coming back for Infinity War.
Yeah.
Gets me a little worried. So, what number would this be?
7, I think.
Oh, you think?
Well, I mean, hopefully I'm right. Well, I mean, soon you'll be able to count backwards, so, I mean...
Okay, wait. I should count real quick. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, you were right.
It's number 7.
Number 7 is the newest addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Black Panther. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was a great movie. I've talked about it a lot, so I don't really have a lot more to say.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool to see, kind of, unlike Thor, we saw T'Challa suddenly have the throne thrust upon him.
Yeah.
I liked the relationship between T'Challa and Killmonger. I thought that was really cool to see. And maybe... Now, you've seen Black Panther.
I have.
Would you kind of agree with me after seeing the movie? It kind of feels like a classic story, like something you'd see from Greek mythology or Shakespeare.
Yeah, it does.
Especially when you find out the Killmonger spoiler.
Yeah. I definitely felt like it. There were times where it didn't feel like a superhero movie because of those aspects, but there were times to me it felt like the most classic of superhero movies, like because there weren't any others. Like it was so refreshing to see a superhero movie where it's just Black Panther.
Well, that's how I'd like solo movies to be. I don't like...
Yeah, exactly.
I was fine with Thor and Hulk because you can't have Hulk otherwise.
Yeah.
And if you're going to do it, why not do it with Thor? But I don't want like other movies like another Spider-Man Homecoming thing where Iron Man has to show up.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I have another question to ask you. And did it bother you at all, what my complaint, or were you fine with it?
I felt fine with it. Like, I didn't feel any breach in drama, I guess, because like, I did expect like, it wasn't like, I think maybe it helped that you told me straight up, because I was like, I was just kind of accepting that, I knew that it wasn't going to end that way.
Yeah.
I mean, we're being vague for like, it's stupidly
where they
vague
fake
right now.
kill Black Panther.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if we were going to commit to the spoiler. Like, obviously he was going to come back.
Yeah.
It's like the movie was in its second, it was the end of the second act.
We saw the trailer for Infinity War before we went to Black Panther.
But, I think, like, it was like, they weren't trying to, I didn't feel like they were trying to trick me, like, he's dead.
I didn't feel like, I just felt like, do we have to do this?
Yeah, but I mean,
just would have maybe preferred, like...
Well, I guess the reason why I liked it is because it would, like, the worst thing, like, the villain was the king. Like, that was, like, the worst thing that could happen. So I thought that was kind of cool.
I felt, I would probably prefer it more if he had been, like, badly injured and we saw him... Not to get Dark Knight Rises or anything, but if he had been like, I don't know. I would say it didn't ruin the movie. I still I'm just like, I don't like how we got, but I liked what led to with him like talking to his dad and I guess the afterlife or something or.
Yeah.
But it was just it bothered me a little bit. Like, do we have to do
personally,
this?
that wasn't a complaint at all. And honestly, I didn't really coming out of it. I didn't really have any complaints. The only one I started to think of was the very end when he finally spoilers by the way when he finally does defeat him. It felt like I feel like they could have cut that better, like made the last battle between like on the train track thing like a bit longer, like a longer cut, because to me it felt like all of a sudden he stabbed him. And I was like, whoa, okay, so that's the resolution then.
So I've seen it twice, and this was another thing that might have bothered me. I mean, I don't mean to be like, I kind of wish that when Killmonger had his Black Panther suit, it looked a little more different.
Yeah, there was one part, when they were falling, and one of them, like, Black Panther had the purple coming through him, and that Killmonger had orange going through him. I thought that was actually really clever, because that was a way to tell them apart.
Are you glad that they didn't give him the cape like he used to have in the comics? Because then it's the Batman suit without the mouth.
Yeah, I think that's a good decision.
Oh, this reminds me of something from Spider-Man Homecoming, our Homecoming review, that I would like to bring up now.
Oh, really?
Because why not? So, I remember I talked about how, one of the things I talked about was how it contradicted other Marvel movies. Like, God, what did I say? One of them was how they said, in Civil War, it said the Avengers have been around for 4 years, yet in this movie they say they've been around for 8. And now I remember why I said that, because I re-listened to it, I was just like, why was it? Oh, now I remember. I remember why I said that now.
Okay.
And it wasn't just to be nitpicky. It was, if we're going to contradict like that, did we have to reboot? Couldn't we have brought back Andrew or Toby? That was where I was going.
Right. I see. Okay. Yeah, that makes that nitpick make sense.
Yeah. So that's what I meant. So months later, it did remind me of something. Now that you've seen Civil War, what did you think it was off to have it where in the scene where Cap and Tony aren't really speaking, but now, and they even say Cap's a war criminal, but now we hear that Iron Man is making him a shield?
Right. I mean, because there are so many, like, lost threads, like, just random movies I haven't seen, it's kind of hard to remember the whole timeline. But, yeah, I guess I didn't pick up on that when I watched it.
I will say this until I don't know how you'll feel about this, but now that you've seen Civil War and Homecoming, did they completely botch Pepper's return? Of how in Civil War they're not talking, but yet in Homecoming everything's fine. In fact, they might be engaged now.
Yeah, that's a pretty big.
That's a big thing to.
That's a big missed timeline.
I almost feel like that was their job to put them back together, and they botched it.
Yeah, they just kind of threw it in.
Yeah.
I mean, like
it doesn't even make any sense now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not that invested, like, in their, like, relationship or anything. Like, it's not like whether they are apart or together, like, it's, I don't feel that emotionally invested, but at the same time, they could have done it better.
That felt like a big moment in Civil War where, like, Tony kind of feels, like, alone.
That's true.
So, that's...
But yeah, you make a good point.
Months later, it just came back to me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I said Black Panther. Black Panther is great. If you haven't seen it, shame on you. Go see it. Highest grossing...
it's not it's like the 10th highest grossing of all time, I think.
I don't know. I think, like, worldwide, it's the second highest grossing superhero movie.
Yeah.
But domestically in America, it's number 1.
Really? I just checked the Wikipedia page for just highest grossing movies of all time through their entire run, and it was number 10.
Really?
And Last Jedi was 9.
So, it's a great movie. Made me more excited to see him in future movies, so...
Yep. So, number 6.
Number 6 is a movie I've talked about earlier. Didn't want to see because I thought they were scraping at the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
Let me set you this picture, okay, guys? We've had the X-Men trilogy. We've had the Spider-Man trilogy. We had Fantastic Four and Daredevil. We had that crappy Hulk movie. I'm just like, Iron Man, they're scraping now. This movie's gonna suck. He's just a Batman knockoff. And I didn't see it the first few weeks. I got talked into seeing it. Because, like I've said, I'm a closed-minded person sometimes. Yeah. So I'm just like,
it can happen.
If I haven't read the comics, I don't care. And to be fair, I'm not a fan of Iron Man in the comics that much.
Yeah.
I just think he's kind of boring. But... you know what's a great movie is the first Iron Man movie.
It is. It really is.
I would say it's, I think, one of the best origin movies for a superhero.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's a great... it took a character that I thought was dumb and made him cooler.
Yeah.
Not enough for me to go through the comics that much. Yeah. I'm not a fan of the comics or cartoons of him. But
right.
I think this is
a great movie.
And I feel like I don't have any complaints. Like, I feel like it's... it's just a great movie.
Yeah, it is. And how about we segue right now, because we're at the top 5, and this is where we were going to start going back and forth, and I can start with my 5. And the reason why I'm segueing is because my 5 is Iron Man.
Yes!
So, yeah, it's a fantastic movie. Like you said, one of the best origin movies. It's a great movie.
A lot of people, like, I would say Iron Man kicked off, like, we don't just have to rely on the name.
Right.
Like,
yeah,
we had Superman and Batman.
That makes sense.
And, Spider-Man's had cartoon after cartoon. When Spider-Man came out, people knew who Spider-Man was. The X-Men generation had grown up on the 90s cartoon, but no one had ever heard of Iron Man, so
we're on your number 5.
We're on my number 5.
My 5, your 5.
I know my 3. I don't know what my 4 and 5 are. So this will be a little bit like, oh, what is it? Because I don't remember now.
So you got to scroll up and remember. It is.
Oh yes, it's Captain America: The First Avengers.
Okay.
So, unlike other Marvel characters, Captain America was a character I was a fan of before the MCU started. So, a Captain America movie is something I've been waiting for, and I thought this was a great movie. I really like the origin. It's probably, yes, I can't, of the MCU, it's my favorite origin story.
Yeah.
So it was really cool seeing Steve and going from this weak guy to being able to help people and stuff like that, and it feels old time without being corny.
Yeah.
Like somewhat, like even like the way, like there's a scene where like Cap is freeing these guys and there's like a fight with the Red Skull, and the Red Skull escapes like through some like little plane. It feels like so old, but yet not cheesy. It just
right.
it could have been cheesy, but I thought it worked. So
yeah.
Have you seen Captain America: The First
I
Avenger?
I haven't gone backwards yet.
Well.
Because I've only seen Civil War of the 3 Captain America movies. But yeah, it definitely sounds pretty amazing, and it's probably in my highest on the next to watch. Part of the reason I hadn't seen a Captain America movie until recently is because, like, maybe like how you felt with Iron Man, I just didn't care yet.
Yeah.
And then I saw it and I was like, oh, this is really okay. I guess I should care. But yeah. So we're on my number 4, right?
Yes.
Okay. You said these weren't for everyone.
Yes.
And I guess I'm on the other side of that because I'm saying Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I keep flip-flopping with this movie. Like it's very rewatchable to me. Like it's one of the most rewatchable Marvel movies. I don't know why. More than the first one, it's rewatchable. But I think that's one thing that's sticking me on this is how rewatchable it is. And the other thing I really love about it, which makes it stand out from other superhero films and also stand out from the first one, like it's separate because a complaint a lot of people had was that it was too much like the first one. I think this factor makes it totally different than the first one, and that's just the theming, the whole references to family problems, growing up in like broken family structures, feeling broken and like wanting to be redeemed.
It had more heart.
Yeah, it had so much heart in a way I didn't expect from a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Like, and I really loved that, especially like once it got to the end and all the heartbreaking things happened in it. I was just like, wow, I did not expect that. it was so unexpected and pleasant to me, and it's my number 4.
Number 4.
Yeah.
All right, so my number 4 would be, in my opinion, the most underrated MCU movie ever.
Oh, really?
And that is The Incredible Hulk.
Oh.
So, like I said, the Ang Lee Hulk movie where he's jumping and his face in the wind, it's stupid, it's dumb, I hate it. Although, the movie has such a great cast.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, darn.
Yeah, they almost had it.
Yeah. So, I really like this movie. It felt like it took the Bill Bixby TV show and modernized it. Kind of surprises me that Marvel Studios' The Incredible Hulk kind of was played on your nostalgia of making it a little similar but doing their own story, and yet with Spider-Man they're trying to go away from Spider-Man. And I thought it was a really good movie. I felt like it had like a lot of like the human drama worked really well, like with Banner trying, unsure what to do, and he's trying to get rid of this thing. And, I felt like it makes what happens to him in the Avengers about how, like, he's able to control and be a hero more special, because we saw what he went through and all that. So
Yeah.
The Incredible Hulk, I think, is underrated. I don't know if a lot of people just haven't seen it or whatever. I almost feel like it got overshadowed because people weren't expecting to like Iron Man. No one, I think, was expecting Iron Man to be as big as it was.
Yeah, that's possible.
Then it's just like the Incredible Hulk comes, and I think people were probably still talking about Iron Man.
Yeah.
And then a few weeks later came this little movie called The Dark Knight. So I feel like it might have got a little lost.
It's the weird middle child.
Yeah.
So yeah, I haven't seen this
You've
one.
not seen
and part of
that
the
one.
reason is I think because the last time I saw an Incredible Hulk movie was
The Ang Lee.
yeah.
Yeah, it's with the mutant poodles and
Yeah, and I think after I realized that, which I think was on this podcast, that I had that breakthrough, I was like, oh no, I need to stop having this character ruined for me and just like watch one of these. But yeah, there we go. So
I mean, you only have one more to go.
Yeah.
It's not even a sequel; it's a reboot. So
right. Okay.
which is a word thrown a lot lately about. You know how like the revivals will call them reboots.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Yeah, not exactly reboot. My number 3 is not a reboot. It's a sequel.
Oh.
And it's a sequel that I have not seen any of the other ones for, because it's Captain America: Civil War.
Oh. Wait, so it's in your top 3 then?
Yeah, it's my number 3.
Okay.
I've said a lot like that. I like almost, I guess, that I prefer solo movies, or the idea of them at least, to like just mashing a bunch of superheroes together, or like having another superhero show up in, like, when I saw like trailers for Spider-Man: Homecoming, I was just like, does Iron Man have Spider-Man? Does Iron Man have to be in it? Like, that's always my reaction to this stuff, and I'm often wrong, but I don't have that call to like, I need to have mashups. But this movie showed me it can be amazing.
Yes.
And you can have that many characters and it can work. You can pile on characters and it doesn't feel like there's way too much to keep track of, especially because so many of the characters are so iconic that it's not like you forget who they are or anything. Just incredibly exciting. Like, and probably my favorite part was when they were all together in that, like, the parking lot. Yeah, like that part is great. So yeah,
I don't want to say too much because I'm sure you can guess.
Yeah, we'll move on. Your number 3.
Here we go. I don't even have to look at my list anymore.
You know your top
I know
3.
my
You
top
know your
3.
top 3.
I think everyone knows my top 3. My top 3 are most people's top 3. The question is, what order are they in?
Ooh.
So, you know what? Everyone's list is going to be different. So there's going to be someone just like, why, you jerk! Number 3 should be switched with 2!
Yeah, and my top 3 is very different. So we'll get to that.
My number 3 movie, I'm surprised it worked as well as it did.
Right.
It's just, and it's something you think you hear about, but you never think it's possible. And then you watch, and it's like, it is.
It is.
So my number 3 film is the first Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
So, did not think this movie could work. Never thought we'd have an Avengers movie, especially before a Justice League movie.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a really great movie. I really liked how they put them together and seeing the characters interact with each other. Loki's a great villain, and just, I think one of the most iconic shots of any superhero movie is where the camera goes around and you see all them all together.
Yeah.
So it was a great Marvel movie. Really enjoyed it. For a lot of people, it's number 1, and you know what? I get why it's a lot of people's number 1.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the Avengers.
Okay, so we're on to my number 2 then, and I'm a person who I think gets a little too excited about what is new. Like, I'll see or hear or whatever. If I experience a piece of art, I'm just like, that was the best ever. And then it takes me a while to cool off and go, okay, I can critique it now.
Were you that way with The Office season 8?
I was not at all.
You're just
not at all. It doesn't always happen. That being said, I'm gonna just completely just full force into that and saying my number 2 is Black Panther.
Yes.
I just have no no major complaints really. It's just so solid. It's like, it's not even a superhero I really knew much about, but it still feels like such a classic like superhero movie. It has all of the factors, like, and it has another thing. It has a villain that isn't just like a CGI monster or something, which is something I complain about.
Not calling out
like
mother, soon you will be together.
Yeah, like fantastic. Both of the villains are some of my favorite villains. They were both so good.
You know that not Killmonger. What is
Claw is the other one.
Claw is in Age of Ultron.
Really?
He has like a little thing. And they go to I think it's something about how they do say Wakanda in Age of Ultron. And then Peter just being like, what's that? And people who knew just like, oh guys, in a few years you're gonna know.
Yeah. He was fantastic.
Could you imagine what that's like for people?
Yeah.
Who watched Age of Ultron and now are going back. What? Rewind? Just like,
oh yeah.
Did they edit this in?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, they knew. They had it planned out.
Luckily, it was all written like 50 years ago.
Yeah, we had that covered. But gosh, the characters in Black Panther, just every single one is so amazing. It's so solid. It's so solid. I don't know. I loved it.
I've said a lot. There's not much more I can say.
Yeah, there's not much to say about it. It was so solid.
It's gonna be hard, I think, for any superhero movie, any, to beat Black Panther as my favorite of the year.
Yeah. So, so you're saying in 2018 that will likely be your favorite superhero movie of the year?
If I'm gonna take a guess,
as a guess, of course, you don't know.
Then.
I mean, it's going to be hard for me, too. I guess we're on to the big top 2.
Yes.
Well, that was my 2, but your top 2. Yeah. Your 2.
So I went into this movie excited. And I don't know how... I'm not lying when I'm being honest when I say this. Like, I remember watching this movie and the opening... Well, not the opening. There's the moment where Cap is going on the boat to save the people. I'm just like saying there, I'm just like, you know what? I think this is going to be Dark Knight quality. I think this is going to be like up there as one of the best. And for a lot of people, it is their number 1.
Yeah.
So my number 2 is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. This is such a great movie. For 2 years, it was my favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. It's just great. I loved... The story was great about, well, I can spoil it for you because it's 4 years old, right?
Yeah, I know. And I saw the sequel. But, yeah.
Hydra infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D., and we saw Cap and Bucky, and about how he doesn't want to give up on his friend. And, Falcon was cool, too. And we saw, like, Cap had to be on the run from S.H.I.E.L.D., and there's, like, so many great moments. I think one of, like, the best moments that, like... You just like you get goosebumps just thinking about it. There's a scene where Cap is talking on intercom to S.H.I.E.L.D. and he's talking about how like Hydra's infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D. and I'm gonna go stop them. And well, I'm trying to remember what it was. It's a great scene, and I'm gonna stop them. And if I'm the only one, so be it. But I don't think I am. And then you see like the good people of S.H.I.E.L.D. fighting back against the bad guys. So
yeah.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Our introduction to the Russo brothers in the MCU, and wow.
So we're at the big one, and by the big one, I mean the big one.
The number 1.
So,
I have a guess of what yours is.
You probably
I'm sure you know what mine is.
Yeah.
I've said it multiple times.
Mine's a big flip-flop, and somehow it flipped to 1. I don't know how it happened. Because, I'm a Star Wars fan. So my number 1 is Star Wars: The Last Jedi. No,
well,
I was going to say a Star Wars knockoff.
A lot of people would, would have been like, well, that's what The Last Jedi did. It was a Marvel knockoff. All the humor.
Yeah.
Dropping the lightsaber right there, Luke. Come on, Ryan.
Yeah.
Ryan.
Yeah. Ryan,
what have you done?
No, but even worse, a Star Wars knockoff. Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, my number one, I went with Guardians of the Galaxy. And this is the weird part. I don't know if you ever feel this when you're like making top lists. If you were to ask me, what do you like better, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 or 1? I would feel like, I don't know, 2 had more heart. It's like, I feel that like, my feeling reaction would be I like 2 better. But then I make a list and I'm like, I have to put that above it. I don't know what, like, that doesn't make any sense.
I had like a debate for a while about what I liked more, the Avengers or Winter Soldier. I'm just like,
yeah.
Well, you know what? I think at first I was just like, oh, of course, it's the Avengers. And then just, well, you know what? The more I think about it, I think Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I'm so confused, especially just because my entire top 5 are practically tied, honestly. They're all so good. But I went with Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one, because especially like in the second half, I think there were some parts that really slowed down, and but the first half to me is so action-packed and exciting. It's just like what going to see the movies is about, and I loved it. And I love all the characters and the way they interact. And for me personally, I don't think the comedy goes too far. I'm a fan of it. To me, I think the reason why I definitely put it number 1 is because it's the movie that got me excited about Marvel movies, or superhero movies again, I should say. Because, basically, I would say after 2008, basically, like, so, like, from 2009 to, it came out in, like, 2013, Guardians of the Galaxy, right? 2014, right.
Same year as Winter Soldier.
Oh, yeah, right. So,
I remember that year we had The Winter Soldier, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, X-Men Days of Future Past, and Guardians. And I think there was...
Big year.
You're just like, wow, look how far we've come.
Yeah.
And you know what the sad thing is? We probably won't have that again with this Fox thing.
Right.
Disney
Oh,
Fox
yeah.
thing.
Yeah. That is.
I know
is a
other
sad
people point
bit.
that out. I'm just like, oh yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, for a lot of people, probably like Avengers or something got them excited. But I hadn't seen that until after I saw Guardians of the Galaxy.
You hadn't seen.
I
Avengers?
hadn't seen the Avengers until after I saw Guardians of the Galaxy, because it was Guardians of the Galaxy that got me excited about them again. I was like, oh, I have to go back and watch some of these. Like I just like.
Did you watch Guardians before or after getting back into Star Wars?
Before.
Okay.
I think it kind of all makes sense. I was like, I didn't even feel like I liked sci-fi, but it could be made exciting. Like it was just, I felt like superhero movies. I had this impression that superhero movies were too serious. Again, I hadn't seen Avengers.
Yeah.
So it was refreshing. It's not even a superhero movie, really.
I think I said this in another one. I don't consider it a superhero movie.
And I don't really either.
They're characters that exist in a world of superheroes.
Yeah, it's more of like a space opera.
a universe, because they're not really on that world that much.
Yeah. It's really more of a space opera in the way that Star Wars is kind of how I think of it. It's just, it's a different franchise. And it brings one. Like, I don't know how you feel about Thanos, but to me it brings one of the coolest villains into the universe, the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
I only remember 2 scenes. I don't
remember.
Yeah.
Well, he's not really the main
I
villain.
remember seeing him,
He's just kind of introduced in it.
I can't tell you the plot. I don't remember it. I watched it once.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit like, can we just speed it up, guys?
Right.
If I can, I don't know if I'll be able to go back and rewatch all the MCU ones like I was able to for Black Panther, because, you know, it's the end of the term.
Right, it's going to be tough.
End of the semester, so...
They threw the release date
every time they always put a Marvel movie at the end. So I'm just, I can't go back.
Yeah.
So I started like a while ago. So for those of you who don't know, I throw out Spider-Man Homecoming and throw in the Amazing Spider-Man movies. I'm just like, those are the movies that should be in the MCU. Once.
Yeah.
You know, the rationale, but the reason why people are just like, why not Toby? The rationale is they're made at the same time, and they're both based on the Ultimate Marvel comics.
Right.
So that's the rationale.
Yeah.
So, boy, where was I going with that? Oh yeah, I don't remember.
When you're rewatching, yeah.
I might rewatch Guardians 1 just to prepare, but I don't remember much of it.
Yeah. I mean, and you know, you don't have to. It doesn't have to be your thing ever at all.
It is awesome that a bunch of people like it.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my number one. in a giant list of what is mostly superhero movies is one that somehow we don't consider a superhero movie. But, yep. So, the big one. And I know what it is.
Yes, I think everyone knows what it is. Okay, guys, here's the thing. You know, everyone has different reactions to movies.
Yeah.
I remember when they announced this movie, and they said that they were going to base it on on one of the first comic book event I ever read. Like, I was buying issues of this event.
Yeah.
And they announced that Black Panther was going to be in there. And, you know, Black Panther and Cap and Hulk were the only ones before the MCU I was a fan of, because I saw them in Ultimate Avengers cartoon. And I remember thinking, you know what? This movie's going to be great. But you know what made it better that can't happen? You know, it looks like Sony doesn't know what they're going to do with Spider-Man. Boy, wouldn't it be great if somehow there was a way to where Sony still had him and he was able to be in there, but it won't happen. And it did.
It did.
And then just getting so hyped for this movie and so excited and watching it and just, no, it's like different from the comic, but yeah, it just like, it does everything right. And it's just, this movie, in my opinion, shows everything great about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Where movies like Iron Man 2 and Homecoming, I think, show the worst, I think this shows the best. And that's Captain America Civil War. You know, I love this movie. I think it and Winter Soldier are like the most rewatchable. You know, if I see him on TV, I know that the next few hours are going to be tied up. So, it's such a great movie. I love. We continue the story with Cap doesn't want to give up on Bucky.
Yeah.
And one thing that a lot of people said that they liked about this, or BVS I agree with, is Cap versus Tony. We have a little more emotional stake because we've seen them before. And
right. They built up to
one
it.
of the great lines is about, like, I'm sorry, Tony, but he's my friend. And Tony goes, so was I. So you have that great scene.
Yeah.
And then, like, Spider-Man being that, like, the impossible happened.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's such a great version of the character.
Yeah.
Like, and Tom Holland, I think that's his best performance as Spider-Man. I don't know if you would agree.
I think I would agree.
Yeah.
Civil War, he did a better performance in Civil War.
And it felt like a great combination of, they're doing their own thing, but yet it's like paying homage. It's like a combo of Andrew and Toby, like the best of them. And, we got to see him do stuff. He's in it more than I thought he would be. I thought he'd have I thought, like, maybe it would be like Michael Scott in the Office finale.
Yeah, just
and then I'm just like, oh my god, he's still on here?
Yeah.
And someone counted.
They're letting them do this?
Yes.
This is allowed?
And someone counted, Spider-Man has more lines than Superman did in the theatrical cut of Batman vs. Superman.
Wow.
And it was great. And then, like, the airport scene is my favorite scene ever in the MCU movie.
It is, really.
So, and then we had that, and one of the great moments was, I think, like, right under it, almost beating it, is, like, that fight between Cap and Tony at the place where they're making all the Winter Soldiers.
Yeah.
And they have and you're just like, oh my god, they turn on each other, and then the thing I love about this movie, because I have a prediction about this movie that if we had a comment section in 2016, I would have said this for sure. I thought Cap was going to die.
Really?
Because in the comics, right after the Civil War story ends, he gets arrested and then he gets assassinated. Like a sniper takes him out.
Oh. And
I figured they're going to kill him off in Civil War, and then they'll bring him back in Infinity War.
Ah.
But this movie did such a great job of wrapping up. Like, I love that letter scene about how Tony gets the letter from Stanley about Tony Stank. About, like, I figured that I wasn't hurting you, but I was really just protecting myself. And then I love, unlike BVS, which just killed off Superman, and it's just like, okay, guys, we're gonna wait until the next movie to wrap it up. It felt like a complete thing where it's just like, hey, look, Tony, look, we've been through this thing, but if you ever need help, I'll be there.
Yeah.
And you had that, and then we had like the little thing of Spider-Man at the very end, which I'm a little. Did you see it at the end? Because I know you said you skipped the very final Justice League post-credit.
Yeah, I did miss that.
Did you see the thing where he has the Flash thing on his bedroom wall?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Okay,
yeah.
Good. I just remembered. Did you miss a Spider-Man scene?
Yeah, no, I couldn't remember what the after credit scene was for a second, but I definitely saw that.
So Civil War, my favorite.
Yep.
I don't think any MCU movie will ever beat it. And
it's tough.
Who cares if it doesn't?
It's just, like our motto,
the
basically.
Best of the best.
It's practically our motto. It doesn't have to be better.
Just be good.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible.
Yeah.
So, the fact that they beat Winter Soldier, in my opinion, was an impossible feat.
And they did it.
And
yep.
So, yeah, this episode, longer than we were planning.
I mean, I guess some news came up that made it last a little longer, but...
So, here's a question.
Yeah.
We thought we'd do a little bit of predictions. So, we'll do guesses, and if you have any predictions, this is gonna happen.
Yeah.
I have a this is gonna happen, guys.
Yeah.
No one will convince me. I'm expecting this to happen in the movie. No, I won't cry online if it doesn't, but I'll be surprised.
Yeah.
So do you have any guesses? If something happens, this is my guess.
Oh man. Yeah. Man, I haven't. I mean, like I said, based on some things that you've told me and see it rewatching the trailers and stuff, I kind of do think that we were debating way early on what's the deal with Spider-Man's suit? Why does it look like that, sort of? I'm pretty sure they are going to go the, it's another, super suit kind of deal.
Yeah. You know what? This brings up a thing that bothers me. Some people are just they had the Iron Spider suit in the comics, even though it looks nothing like that. It looks cooler, but...
Yeah.
Here's... In the Civil War comics, okay? It happens where Tony they do the thing where Tony gives him the suit. But what happens is that Spider-Man is doesn't know what to do, because in the comics, Iron Man's putting them in a prison, and Peter's well, when are they going to get out? And Tony's just well, they may never get out, other superheroes. And Peter just doesn't know, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
And there's a scene where Cap and Tony are meeting, and they're trying to, come to terms, but Cap is just you knew that Peter looked up to you as a father, and you abused that trust. And then when Spider-Man wants to turn on Iron Man, Tony uses the Iron Spider suit against him.
Yeah.
So, he's trying to fight Iron, but the Iron Spider suit won't let him.
Yeah.
And he feels completely betrayed by Tony, and that leads him to go back to his old suit. It had plot development. It wasn't just for some stupid jokes.
Yeah.
So that's why I get so pissed about that stupid... Did you see the thing that they did? I don't know. I posted it. I don't know if you saw it.
Not sure.
They had this thing of character posters. They showed Steve, and it said Captain America. They showed the Hulk. It said Hulk. They showed Spider-Man in that stupid suit. They didn't call him Spider-Man. They called him Iron Spider.
Did they?
Yes.
I did not see that.
It's... Like I said, guys, last chance before this show becomes send Spidey back to Sony. Cut the tie with Marvel.
Yeah. Then it'll be a controversial show.
Yes.
To say the least. But yeah. I mean, yeah, you definitely have more thoughts of what's going to happen than I do.
So, here are just some guesses. I'll save the one where I'm just guys, let's look at this. Look at this. Look at this. I'm telling you, this is going to happen.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I think you might get excited if I tell you this. Okay.
So you're saying these first ones are more iffy? You're not totally
just
sure?
Just guesses, but this I'm telling you guys, this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this special so much. Besides ranking, I'm just
because
guys,
then we can do
this is going to happen.
Then we can do the special where we show our predictions that we're completely right.
Okay. Here's some guesses, okay? If any Avenger is going to die in this movie, it's going to be Hawkeye. Yeah.
I can see that.
It's just no. I'm sorry. No one's gonna miss him. Like, it's not that big a loss.
Yeah.
So here's something I don't want to happen, but I think will. Captain America and Iron Man will be fake killed and brought back in number 4.
Yeah, I could see that happening too. But,
okay, so I guess I didn't have that one, but I do have. So I do have the thing. No, it's
okay.
fine. I was just like, what was that? So, okay, I have my prediction. I'm telling you guys, this is gonna happen.
So this. Mark these words.
Yes, mark these words. Okay. Maybe should I just say it, or should I say the rationale first? Because if I say it, it means like it gives more pop.
Say it, then explain it. You don't need to explain.
Ready?
Just say it.
Spider-Man's gonna get the black suit.
Okay.
He's gonna get the symbiote, the black suit. And here's the rationale. Okay, guys, follow this with me. Marvel Comics lately has a trend. So recently they announced that in the comics, starting with Amazing Spider-Man number 800. 800. Wow. So, 800, he's going to have the black suit again in the comics.
Okay.
And Marvel has this trend of, I think this is something I do complain about. It's one of the reasons why I don't read the comics anymore. Although they do have a new editor-in-chief, so I might try when they have the new relaunch, but as of right now, I don't care.
Yeah.
They have the comics follow the movies too much. After Civil War in 2016, because Marvel will do a yearly like big event thing where you have to buy all the books to have the story make sense.
Oh.
So there you go. Why people get so mad when they announce those stupid things.
Yeah.
2016 event, the year Captain America Civil War. Civil War 2. They did a sequel to the Civil War storyline.
Oh, really?
Then, I think it started now, right after Thor Ragnarok, which is based on Planet Hulk. Planet Hulk 2 in the comics. And now, Spider-Man is going to have his black suit in the comics. And you know when the last time he had the black suit in the comics was? 2007, the year Spider-Man 3. Now, there was a plot point because, like I said, during the Civil War storyline, I don't know if you know this, part of the Civil War storyline was Peter, like, exposed that he was Spider-Man. He told the world, and then, it got undone later, but
yeah,
because of that, the Kingpin hired someone to, like, shoot, to, like, kill Peter, like a sniper.
Yeah.
And missed and hit Aunt May.
Oh.
So she's in the hospital dying, and he's just like, I've had it, and gets the black suit to show, like, I'm coming for you, Kingpin. And
yeah. Yeah.
So, and that was the year of Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
So, hearing that, I'm going 72% chance that he gets it in Avengers Infinity War. He gets the symbiote. I think the Iron Spider suit's going to get destroyed, and he's going to get thank God.
How is it going to be initiated, do you think? Like, is someone going to get hurt close to him? Is Aunt May going to get hurt? Like, what's going to initiate it?
Well, because, they're going into space.
Right.
So, I think what will happen is that his suit will get damaged or something, and then the symbiote will find him and crawl onto him, and that's what will, like, keep him alive.
Oh, okay.
If I had to guess, I'm guessing it might be a post-credit scene. So
okay.
I'm 72% chance he gets it in this one. And if not, then 90% chance he gets it in Avengers 4. He's going to get the black suit. I'm telling you guys.
Okay.
So, hearing that and my rationale, first off, what do you think of the chances are of the black suit? And how would that make you feel if you saw the black suit?
It is correlative evidence, so it's kind of, 72% is probably as high as I'd go. But it does seem like a rationale. Like, I
forgot to mention this. When they announced the Logan movie, they killed off Wolverine and brought in the old man Logan version of Wolverine to the Marvel Universe.
Oh.
Which is, Old Man Logan is what Logan is based on, so.
Right, okay. But you're thinking it's not. It's really just. It's not going to be like a huge plot point in the movie, but maybe just a post-credit scene.
If I had to guess, that's what it would be, and then he'd have it all of number 4.
I mean,
plus it's a way to set it up for the Venom movie.
Yeah, that's true. No, I think that is like it's a cool idea. I mean, I'm not invested. Like, what? Am I gonna be upset or something? Like, I'm not gonna be upset or anything.
You said Venom was your favorite villain.
That's true.
So, and that
no,
leads to
it would
Venom.
definitely, yeah, that'd definitely be really cool.
Plus, if he has it, and then like he loses it either in 3 or 4, it's a reason for him to go find Eddie Brock in a sequel, or for him to just have one scene of, "Hey man, what's going on?"
True. If it leads us to Venom, thumbs up. Yeah. Amazing. So that's some good speculation. Juicy speculation.
Yes. I'm telling you guys it's gonna happen. Just like I'm saying in that Miles Morales cartoon, it's gonna be Tobey Maguire. I'm telling you, and it's gonna happen. Okay. Some rabbit hole questions, and then we'll ask the big question.
All right.
Well, there's 2 big, but 1 is smaller.
Okay.
Okay, some rabbit hole. I'm gonna contradict what I told you earlier.
Okay.
We did our favorite MCU movies, favorite Spider-Man, favorite X-Men films. So favorite Spider-Man, favorite X-Men. So that can include Deadpool if you need it, if you want.
Okay, true. So any Spider-Man movie? Anything?
I would prefer... Let's skip Civil War.
Okay. But either way, I'd probably say... last time you asked basically the same question, I think I said Spider-Man 1. I'm saying Spider-Man 2 this time.
Really?
Because they're so close. I flip-flop all the time.
So mine, I flip-flop a lot too. And you know what? I'll just say how I feel right now.
Yep.
And I'll just say what... Because it flip-flops all the time. So my favorite one right now is, like I said, whenever there's a bad version of a movie, it makes the other ones feel more special. Mm-hmm. So right now, my favorite is The Amazing Spider-Man 1.
Okay.
Like, I thought it's a great movie. It was my favorite superhero movie 2012. I like it more than I like The Avengers.
Wow.
So, I felt the hate from some of you guys. But it's not Marvel Studios! Dude, I swear... You think some DC fans are bad? Marvel fans hate other Marvel movies if it's not Marvel Studios. Yeah. So, yeah, I thought they did the Tobey Maguire movie, which is a great movie. It feels like classic Spider-Man, where this Amazing Spider-Man felt like it was updating it for like the 21st century, because 21st century had only been around for 2 years.
Yeah.
So, it feels like I don't know if I've said this before. The first Sam Raimi Spider-Man feels like the classic Stan Lee Spider-Man, Steve Ditko too, and this Amazing Spider-Man feels like the Ultimate Spider-Man comics from Brian Michael Bendis and Mark Bagley, where they rebooted and did it for the 21st century. So I love that. I really like the Lizard. I was really disappointed we didn't get him in Spider-Man 4, which didn't happen. But so really liked that. I thought there's some great moments. I liked how we had some development with Flash, where you see like they kind of become a little bit buddies at the end. Like what happened to Uncle Ben kind of did stuff.
Yeah.
And then we saw like Peter kind of struggling with, feeling abandoned by his parents.
Yeah.
And like, that's stuff we saw from the Ultimate Spider-Man comics. And I think all the Spider-Man are great, but if I had to rank them, like gun pointing to my head, rank them now. Yeah. I would say Andrew Garfield's my favorite live-action one. I just think like he did like a great job playing both Peter and Spider-Man. I thought all three are great.
Yeah.
It's just if I had to pick one, if someone said to me, "Hey, we're gonna reboot Spider-Man, but we got them all under contract, so we gotta reuse one of them. Which one do you choose?" I would choose Andrew Garfield. So yeah, I almost feel it's almost unfairly underrated, because I almost feel like, look, if someone doesn't like it, that's fine. Like not every movie's for everyone. There's some people who hate The Dark Knight. There's some people who hate the first Tim Burton Batman.
Yeah.
There's some people who hate Civil War, and And I almost feel like, but for some people, they either were upset about they rebooted Spider-Man,
Yeah.
and they want Spider-Man 4, which I get, but it's just like, get over it.
I mean, I really think a lot of it is that.
And I think a lot of like the online fanboy community was just like, it's not Marvel Studios. You know, Iron Man's not going to show up. And if we boycott it, then Marvel will get the rights back. So I almost feel like it's unfairly under, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
when I remember seeing it a little later, like when there was already lots of reviews and people kind of not totally digging it, and I remember seeing it and going, it was good.
You know, I would almost say that the average audience member liked it. It's the hardcore online fanboys.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it didn't get abysmal reviews or anything. I'm not saying that.
It got like good reviews. I think it. Well, we won't talk about the one, but it was. I think when it came out, it was the second highest rated on Rotten Tomatoes after the first two Sam Raimi's.
Yeah, that sounds right, I think.
So, my other one is Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it's Spider-Man versus Doc Ock.
Yeah.
It's like Batman versus the Joker. Doc Ock's my favorite Spider-Man villain, and I just it's
great.
It's just those two movies for me say like everything great about Spider-Man, and like there we go.
Yeah, for sure. But X-Men, X-Men. You see, because you left the option open, and because I never really, I didn't quite care about most of the earlier ones enough to rewatch them a bunch, and so they don't remember that much, I might have to just go Deadpool and throw a weird upset into the mix. So,
anything you say about why you like Deadpool?
It was kind of like, not only is it an upset in this discussion, but it's also an upset in my brain where I was not expecting much at all from it.
Yeah.
And it ended up being a really good, funny, but also a really good just superhero movie.
I don't know if they can do it again with Deadpool 2. Maybe it'll be good. It's just...
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they surprised me with the first one. So,
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So, once again, I flip-flop with my two favorite X-Men movies.
Yeah.
So I won't go into detail about them because this episode's running too long. But it's between the second X-Men movie and X-Men Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
One is where the people who gave Wolverine his claws are after him and they break into the school, and it's Wolverine and some of the other X-Men on the run. And then he goes back to where he got the claws in the lab, and is just trying to figure out his past. The other one is X-Men Days of Future Past, where Wolverine goes back in time and has to get Charles and Magneto to work together to stop this horrible future happening. And I consider that the finale of the X-Men universe. We don't go past that.
Yeah.
Although I heard the Logan's not considered canon, but
that's odd.
But I consider that the ending, and yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
All right.
Where from here?
Well. So here's okay, a few questions to ask. Where did they go?
Oh no.
Okay. For this movie,
Avengers Infinity War?
Yes.
Okay.
Actors' contracts are going to be up.
Ooh.
Should characters be killed off and retired, or just recast?
Well, we talk a lot on here about, you can have a new iconic. You can recast and it's fine. It's scary, but it can work out and be fine. I think there are... it is a little scary to, we have so much good going. We haven't really... recast anywhere yet, have we?
The Hulk.
Yeah, right. The Hulk
and Rhodey.
Okay, but very, very little recasting basically.
Yeah.
So to think of just then a ton of recasting coming through, it's a little bit of a rough concept, but it can work. It has to happen eventually if you want it to if you want it to succeed in longevity. So I think that's kind of the answer.
So I get so angry with I get so like passionate about this topic.
Yeah.
Because I get so tired of people just like, you can never recast. Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, look, why would you want to just like stop it with that actor? Like, had we stopped Batman with the original actor, Lewis Wilson, it was not Adam West, it was Lewis Wilson, 1943, we never would have had Adam West or Michael Keaton or Val Kilmer or Ben Affleck.
Yeah, it's funny because I feel like Iron Man is probably my number one that I would want a recast. Not because, like, Robert Downey, like, I actually feel the same way, that, like, I think of Robert Downey Jr. and Iron Man so, like, tied, and he's such a great Iron Man, but I want to see how someone else could make that role iconic as well.
And I feel like I get tired of, like, reboots. It'd be nice to have the story continue for at least 10 more years, and then maybe after 20 years or 25, then let's be like, you know, we've come to a close. Let's start over.
Yeah.
But I just feel like if they killed off or retired the characters, it would honestly it would damage the franchise in a way that would never fully recover.
Yeah.
And look, we've seen it happen before with other franchises, and like some people upset with another franchise that's phasing out its characters.
Yeah.
So, and I'll just say, there's some people just like, Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. No one can be Cap but Chris Evans. And I'll just say this. You know what? You know who was almost Iron Man? Tom Cruise. You know who was almost Captain America? John Krasinski. Had it gone through, we'd be saying, oh, there can never be Tom Cruise is Iron Man. I mean, you want to replace him with Robert Downey Jr.? That will never work.
Yeah.
What? You want Chris Evans? No. My boy Jim Halpert will always be Captain America.
I didn't know that about Captain America.
He was
actually.
very close.
Wow. That is pretty funny. But there is also always the possibility that someone actually doesn't make a good one. Like,
but then you can recast later.
Yeah, but yeah, you never know. You never know.
So let's see, because my phone just turns off like a jerk.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, I don't know if we've asked this before or not.
Okay.
But I'll ask it again.
All right.
Would the MCU be as good if they had Spider-Man, X-Men in the beginning?
You know, I was thinking about this recently. Just this concept of, I think restraint and not having access to everything can sometimes make things better. Like I was thinking of this in reference to a couple things. One of them being, like, I feel like a lot of times, like, the plot and, like, everything in a stop motion film has to be so concise and thought out because they have the restriction of every second's going to take, like, a week. Like, they have to make sure everything's perfect because they have so much restriction. Like, they have so many obstacles to climb that they have to make sure everything is perfect. And so I think if you have access to every single character, you could just be a little bit more unthinking about just throwing things wherever, just like mashing together sets of characters. And I just think restriction can often make things better. It wouldn't necessarily. They might have done it right, but I'm not going to say that it would be better if they were there from the beginning.
I would say I think it would have been worse.
Really?
Because I think, MCU's had hit after hit after hit. Some misses like Iron Man 2 and Homecoming, but they've had hit after hit after hit. And I think the reason is because, Spider-Man and the X-Men are brand known names. Like, no matter what, they'll still make money and probably be profitable. But no matter what, like, there won't be a Spider-Man movie that bombs. Or an X-Men movie that just, like loses money.
Yeah.
Unless you reshoot most of the movie, like, you know.
Yeah.
So,
I know.
I think that part of the reason why the movies were so successful and beloved is because they knew if we don't get people like Iron Man with this movie, it's going to fail.
Yeah.
Like, every Marvel movie from Iron Man to Thor to Avengers to Guardians, Doctor Strange, to Ant-Man, everyone always went, is this going to be the one where Marvel fails? Like, they have to constantly prove themselves. And I feel like if they had it where they could easily fall back on, like, all right, we'll put an Iron Man movie in May, but just in case in July we'll put Spider-Man. We'll just throw together a Spider-Man movie. Then I feel like it puts less pressure on them. Yeah. And I feel like having the more pressure makes it better.
Yeah.
And here's another question I didn't think of. Would we have an MCU if they had Spider-Man and X-Men from the beginning? I'm going to say no.
I don't think so.
Because I look at Warner Brothers with Superman and Batman, and it's just like if you had the big two, and they were struggling they've been wanting to get Wonder Woman for years, but they've been struggling since like 2002.
Yeah.
So I feel like the fact that they didn't have those kind of like forced them to be like, well, if we want to get into this game, then we got to go with the unknown characters.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely think that restriction. You have that fire under you of restriction, and like we got to make this good. I definitely agree with that.
All right, so we've had like trilogies of movies, and some of them are coming to like an end now. Like we've had a Cap trilogy, an Iron Man trilogy, a Thor trilogy, and I don't know if they're gonna like do like another Iron Man 4 just because it's just like, well, we gotta make sure we can do like Black Panther 2 or whatever. So I think probably I'm hoping that they'll still appear in the Avengers movies, but maybe we might have like a little break.
Yeah,
I think how they break them up into phases.
Yeah,
I think maybe Phase 4 we might not have a sequel to the trilogy movie, but I think Phase 5 we will.
Isn't Infinity War the first one in this new one, or is it the last?
I think that it's the last one.
Okay.
It's either number 3, Infinity War or Avengers 4 is the last one. I don't think they've announced what Phase 4 is yet.
Okay.
So, and Guardians is going to have a third movie soon.
Yeah.
So, this is a question to ask. Would you trade a new MCU franchise to get like a sequel trilogy? Like, I'll say I would trade Doctor Strange to get another Captain America trilogy.
Oh, that's pretty easy because yeah, I'd also trade Doctor Strange to get another Guardians movie.
So just like I'm done with Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, so it's not really fair. Like I already don't have that
just
movie.
Like if one's how to go.
But yeah.
All right. Here's a question that I wanted to ask you, since we know Venom, is it going to be MCU, is it not?
Yeah.
Would you want Venom to have the origin from the Marvel Universe? That started with Stan Lee and Steve Ditko and Jack Kirby. Or, which I'll probably have to explain to you, would you want it from the Ultimate Marvel Universe that started in the 2000s?
That's I don't know that one.
So you haven't read the Ultimate Marvel books?
No.
Most
of the Marvel stuff I've read are like I just started from the beginning, like the classics.
So did you ever like when did you start? You said you started getting into like Spider-Man and comics like after the first movie.
Yeah.
Did you like buy like the new issues at that time, or?
I don't think I ever got new issues of Marvel. I think I was getting DC comics, but
also, guys, I'd like to apologize. Man, that camera's gonna die.
Apologize for uttering the words DC or the letters
yes.
DC.
I'd like to apologize on my behalf and also on your behalf.
Yeah,
because we were doing like an episode that hasn't been released yet about what would you think about these Spider-Man ideas for a movie, and I said, what would you think about High School Teacher Spider-Man? And you said that sounded boring. I would apologize if I made that amazing run of Spider-Man comics. One of the best, in my opinion, by J. Michael Straczynski. Sound boring. It was not intentional. I recommend all of you going out to read it.
So you're saying maybe your description of something wasn't as convincing as you would have liked?
Yes. I'd also like to apologize on his behalf.
For saying
he didn't know that he was calling one of the best runs in Spider-Man comics boring.
Yeah, I don't remember even saying something was boring.
So I just remember it's like,
this podcast is off the cuff. I don't know what I'm saying.
Oh boy, but it's It's there forever.
Yeah, it's there absolutely forever.
So you know about the Marvel Universe?
I've heard of it. No,
I mean the Marvel Universe origin of Venom.
Yeah.
It's changed, but basically just it's an alien and comes to Earth. Well, in the comics, he gets it on another planet, and that becomes. But it's basically just it's an alien costume,
right?
So yeah, but in the Ultimate Universe, which I feel like I gotta explain all the time, and one day when I'm just gonna be like, look it up yourself. Ultimate Universe. There's the Marvel Universe that started with Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and Steve Ditko in the 60s and kept going. And in 2000, Marvel decided, I'm going to keep going until that thing just shuts off.
Go for it.
In the 2000s, to get more readers, Marvel created the Ultimate Comics, Ultimate Universe, where they rebooted Spider-Man, X-Men, Avengers, and Fantastic Four, making it, what if we were creating these stories today? Like, what if Peter Parker was a teenager in the year 2000? What if the X-Men were coming together in the year 2000? What is the Avengers like in a post 9/11 world? So, there's that. So, in the Ultimate Universe, the black suit was a goo that was created to be a cure for cancer. And it was created by two scientists. One was Eddie Brock Sr. The other was Richard Parker. So, basically, it's like they were trying to find a cure for cancer, and they felt like this suit that could be used, and I don't remember the gist of it. Somehow, it went, well, shut off.
Welcome to the audio podcast.
Yes. Yeah, we got audio finally, guys. Just audio only.
This is actually a new thing we just discovered.
Yes.
Audio only podcast.
Only. So, it was a way like he would get, that suit, and we find out that Peter and Eddie, Eddie Brock Jr., who's the one that will become Venom, were like friends when they were little kids, and then Peter goes and takes the goo because it's just like, his parents were killed in a plane crash.
Yeah,
they might have been killed because the government wanted the suit for like the army or something. So that was the reason. Then he gets the suit, and then there's this great scene where the symbiote is tricking him, like playing with him mentally, where he stops. He stops like a robber, and the symbiote makes him think it's the guy who killed Uncle Ben when it's not.
Oh,
so it's screwing with his mind, and then obviously then it gets off of him, and then it goes to Eddie. So depending on that, and then in the Marvel Universe, Eddie Brock was like I think he was like a reporter for the Daily Bugle, and then Spider-Man kind of like proved that what he was saying was he was making up stories. So there's that. So between the two, which would you want for the Venom movie?
Right. So,
I mean, ignore the stuff about Peter getting the suit because you won't see that in the Venom movie.
It's still tough because I didn't have first-hand experience with either of them so much, but which one will make people happier? No,
the Marvel Universe.
Which one can I make up for my mistake of saying the one sounded boring last time?
People would probably prefer the Marvel Universe one because that's the real Marvel Universe.
The Marvel Universe one, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, it does sound. It does. Yeah, it sounds very interesting.
So, I mean, if you had to choose one, you're going.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So, here's the big question.
All right.
Will it be good? Do you think
Infinity War? Will it be?
Do you think you will like Avengers: Infinity War?
I guess here's my hunch, and of course, all I really have is a hunch because I've just seen a couple trailers or so. How many trailers are out now? 2?
2, well, a lot of TV spots.
All right. Just making sure I didn't miss one.
Yeah.
I feel like I will think it's good, but I don't know if it really... I don't necessarily see it living up to other mashups in the past that were probably going to end up being better, like Civil War, Avengers. It doesn't need to be, but I think I'm feeling good. Okay. Maybe not great, but good. I think that's what I'm feeling right now. If we're just letting loose and throwing conjecture, that's just my feeling right now.
Okay. Now the question I'm at, will I like this movie? And kind of, there's a moment where you gotta realize, like, this feeling. I don't think I will.
Really?
And there's factors from other movies that make me think I won't like this one.
Yeah.
And I'll say this. I think that it will damage the MCU in a way it never recovers.
Really?
Yes.
That's bold.
Let me say it. I want to be wrong.
Yeah.
I want to come out and be like, oh my God, guys, I was wrong.
So what, like, here's my question. What if it turns out that the characters that are focused on are some of the ones that actually have worked out? Like, what if it focuses more on, like, Captain America and Black Panther, and, like, ones you're worried about are a little bit more on
here, it's not really specifically, and there's a little bit of the movie, but there's other factors we've seen from other superhero movies.
Okay.
Here's something I had to bring up. The last time we had a director do 3 movies in a superhero series, not counting Bryan Singer, who took a big gap, 11 years, was Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
I mean, some people be like, Zack Snyder, and I'm just like, hey, look, I like Justice League. Don't tell me that thing is all the way Zack Snyder.
Yeah. Yeah. I see where you're going with this, though.
So, we saw in The Dark Knight Rises that after 3 movies, I mean, I guess he did breaks, like he did Inception, but we saw he didn't care.
Yeah.
I mean, it is obvious he didn't care when you watch the movie, so...
I mean, what about something like the Iron Man trilogy, though, where the third one's actually better?
But they switched directors.
I didn't know that. I was just guessing so hard.
Like I said, this is the last time we had that was...
Okay.
So, yeah. Sorry to burst your bubble.
I stuck my foot down, and I was like, this could so easily be wrong. And it was.
So, we're looking at the best Marvel movies. We're talking about Iron Man.
Yeah.
Or, God, I had a list. Okay, Avengers, Winter Soldier, Civil War. Those came out when they had competition. Like, hey, good luck, guys, but it might not be as successful as the other ones. Like Iron Man, you had The Dark Knight. Avengers, you were going up against Spider-Man, and at the time, what was the biggest movie franchise, The Dark Knight Rises. Winter Soldier, you have Captain America. You're going up against the big 2, Amazing Spider-Man 2 and X-Men Days of Future Past. And Civil War went up against what some people thought would be one of the biggest success movies ever, Batman vs. Superman.
Yeah.
So, when you look at that, they had, like, competition.
Yeah.
The Marvel movies that are not the best, Iron Man 2 came out when there was no competition. Age of Ultron, there was Fantastic Four, but no one was really excited for it. So,
yeah.
No DC, no Sony, no Fox movie. So,
yeah. I see. So you're saying there's no competition for Infinity War right now?
Yeah, I mean, even
and that's a sign?
People aren't excited for Aquaman, and that's not even coming out at the same time.
Yeah. So I definitely, I see there are signs.
So, and then here's the last one. Well, besides Spider-Man being,
Yeah.
I got my, robot suit. Okay. I know this one's grasping at straws, and I don't want. The reason I bring it up is because I don't want this to happen.
Yeah.
The last time a Marvel Universe went on for 10 years, and you've seen the TV spots, kind of like this could be the end.
Yeah.
And advertised something in the end was Ultimate Marvel, and we got one of the worst comic books ever made, Ultimatum, which it's a poorly put together book. Like,
Yeah.
I bought all the issues from the dollar bin because, for those who don't know, Marvel Universe gets smashed together with... So they kill off basically all the characters in the Ultimate Marvel Universe, except for the Avengers, because they had the movie rights to those, but killed off the X-Men, were going to kill off Spider-Man, but hadn't had his replacement. Broke up the Fantastic Four, but the Avengers were fine. That's not a coincidence. But we had that, and I read it, and it's just... It was, for shock value, they killed off characters.
I see.
And I read it. I own all 5 issues because I found it in the dollar bin at my comic shop. And some people are like, why'd you buy it? It's because when they ended the Ultimate Universe, they smashed together that universe and the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
So in a way, the characters do come back.
Yeah.
So to make the return special, you gotta have them leave.
Yeah.
It's kind of like to have Michael's return in the Office finale, you gotta have Goodbye Michael, which is great. But imagine if it had sucked.
Yeah.
So they killed off all the characters, and the Ultimate Universe was never able to fully recover. And a lot of people, think that some characters could die in this movie. And here's the thing. There are some moments when I watch this trailer that remind me of the Ultimate comic book. I know, some of these are just grasping at straws, but I'm just like, please don't be like that. Please don't be like that.
Yeah.
And one of them is when Spider-Man is on public transportation. In the trailer, we see he's on a bus.
Yeah.
In the comic, he's on a subway. Close enough, I guess.
Yeah.
And he looks out the window, and he sees something bad, and then he web swings out of it.
Yeah.
And it happened in both stories.
Okay.
I know some people are just like, what's the big... I'm just saying, guys, it happened in this really bad story.
Oh.
And then, let's see. So, it looks like we see in the trailer that part of Thanos' motivation might be... we see a flashback between him and... Is it Gamora?
Yeah.
We see, that, and, his relationship with his daughter might be some of his motivation. In Ultimatum, Magneto's the main villain, and he wants to destroy the world and start over after his daughter is killed. So Gamora, or she has a sister, right? Yeah.
Nebula.
Nebula. If one of them dies, I am panicking in this movie.
Oh, no.
Because then it's just, similar motivation.
Yeah.
So, and then we kind of see, it kind of looks in the trailers like there's some big destructive event that could happen at the beginning of the movie. And that's what how Ultimatum started. And seeing the characters react to it, and that's how it started. So,
and you say this at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I feel like they almost set Nebula up to face Thanos.
Ooh.
Yeah, she says, I'm going to do this alone. I'm going to go and face it. Yeah.
And so, yeah. It reminds me of Ultimate. Please tell me I'm just being a little too,
there are
conspiracy.
There are a lot of connections, but it's also maybe they're just coincidences. We don't know. I don't know.
I hope so.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: we've seen if they kill. I think it'd be a dumb mistake to kill off a bunch of the characters.
Yeah.
So, and we've seen people give up on franchise after main characters leave Ultimate Marvel. Mm-hmm. It led to, viewers giving up on The Office when Steve Carell left. And, we like Star Wars The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
We know that it's going to take a little bit of it's going to take a hit in the box office.
Yeah,
So...
The characters leaving is slower, but it is happening in that franchise, too.
I don't know. I think...
I see the points here. And I think I have a little bit of a benefit of going in with a little bit more blissful ignorance because I don't know of these past stories. But, I guess that means if it's good, it'll be a very pleasant surprise.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm expecting our next... When we do our Avengers Infinity War special...
I feel like, in part of me almost feels like they're due for a bad one. They're due for a disaster.
And I don't want to, spread... I don't want to be Mr. But I will say that as we got closer to Dark Knight Rises and Spider-Man Homecoming, I did kind of start feeling the same way of, but I was like, oh, of course it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
But
we really don't know. We're not
Yes.
professionals. We have shown that in this
Yes.
episode.
As we thought this would be a short 20-minute one, and now it's
Yep.
a while.
Well, it's 2.
So, yeah, I hope to be wrong. Mm-hmm. I really don't hope it's like our Infinity War or our whenever, because we're gonna do an Infinity War special.
Yeah.
I hope it's not like where you're just like so what'd you think of this thing? It's just
Yeah.
so wasn't this part cool? So final question. Final question.
All right.
A lot of people are asking it. So I'll ask it. Will it make $2 billion at the worldwide box office?
Huh. You know, honestly, to me, I think it really does depend if it's good. If the narrative is that it's you gotta see it's the best superhero movie ever, like if it's just some extravagant thing, I think this is one of the things that could definitely it has the name under it to make $2 billion. But yeah,
I think if reviews are good and fans and the audience like it, I honestly think it's gonna get $2 billion.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be that fourth one, fourth film in history to make $2 billion.
Yeah, I definitely could see it.
I got faith in it.
If anything is going to in the last few years,
This one has the best chance after because we already had Force Awakens now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, yeah, we don't want to set ourselves up for if it's great and it doesn't make $2 billion. So, oh man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care how much of it makes. You
hope it doesn't lose money.
Well, no, what I mean is I don't care how much it makes.
You don't care if it breaks records.
That doesn't affect my liking of it.
Yeah.
I guess is what I'm saying. I hope it doesn't lose money.
Yes.
But yeah.
All right. So there we go with our longer than I thought.
The thing, it's a lesson we learn every time.
Yes.
That you cannot avoid that rabbit hole.
Yes. It just pops up everywhere.
Yep.
It almost makes you want to ask one question.
Does it?
Yes.
Because it's more rabbit hole?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's a shorter list.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you don't have to think about it.
Okay.
Rapid fire, best to worst, because we did this whole thing Marvel.
Yeah.
Do the 5 DCEU movies.
Okay.
There's 5, right?
That sounds right.
Because we had Snyder, Suicide Wonder Woman, yeah.
Okay.
So no Dark Knight trilogy.
Easily to me, easily the best is Wonder Woman to me. Then I would say Justice League. Batman vs Superman. The last two are so close. I'll say Man of Steel, Suicide Squad.
All right, I'll go Justice League, Batman vs Superman, Wonder Woman, Suicide Squad, and I wanted to like this movie. Man of Steel, it could have been great.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I mean, like I said, it made me appreciate the other ones more.
Yeah.
That rabbit hole is something.
It's pulling. It's pulling.
Do you have a movie where it's just like you didn't like a movie and now it makes where you didn't like or anything, you didn't like some piece of fiction or whatever,
yeah,
and then because you didn't like it, made the other ones feel more special?
That is, I guess I would almost say it's probably got to be the contrast in Batman movies.
I mean, yeah, after The Dark Knight Rises, it made the other ones feel more special. It made when they had new ones feel more special. Hey, I can watch this and not get mad.
Yeah.
So this is almost okay. One more. It's a sad one too.
Okay, we'll end it on a sad note.
Are there any movies that you hate to admit, like you still like them, but they're not on the pedestal they once were?
Like they just don't like
you were just like, this is amazing,
anymore.
But now it's just like not as much.
That's a good question.
And it could be like an answer you just like, I hate to say this.
Right. Honestly, I do think that for a very, very long time, I wanted to agree with people that even the first Cars was like because I think generally people I don't hate the first Cars, but I'm just not into it as the concept. I just don't even if I'm binging through Pixar movies, I'm not gonna watch Cars. I'm just not even the first, and I'm not even saying it's bad. I'm not gonna watch it again. I just don't care about Cars.
So mine is what I still like. It's just not. It's not as high as it once was.
Yeah.
And it's the first 2 Nolan Batman movies.
So Batman Begins in the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's as more time gets away, it's just I still like them, but it's, it's part of it was imagining what could happen.
Yeah.
Over 9 movies or something, and it's almost just well, this is what we got.
That's it.
It's a little bit well,
it doesn't go anywhere. If
I look at this, and if I had to rank them, I would rank the Burton Schumacher movies, the Adam West Show, and Gotham over those two.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
I still really enjoy them. It's just they're not as up there as they used to be.
Yeah.
The more time has gone away.
There's definitely rose-colored glasses that people look back at things on, and sometimes it is good to just kind of wipe them off a little. To just kind of go, it's okay to let go. Yeah. That's a sad note to end this on.
Let's end it on one last happy one.
Get really happy.
Yes.
What's the happiest thing you can think of?
Okay. Multiverse Marvel crossover. You can pick 4. So you can pick anything from any live action movie. A crossover, you can pick 4 characters, any Marvel.
So just the ultimate crossover, if there's going to be a new movie?
There's going to be a new movie, and you can pick 4 characters.
Okay.
And it can be any 4 from any franchise, even outside the MCU.
This is the ultimate crossover?
Yes.
Just 4 characters?
Well, I mean, you can have supporting characters, but these are your
okay.
4. Kind of like how there's the Avengers, but really the big 4 are Cap, Iron Man, Thor,
since
and Hulk.
Since this is a wacky question, I'm going to have some wacky... I am going to have 2 Marvel characters, and I've got those in mind already.
It's of Marvel characters.
Oh, they all have to be Marvel characters?
Go with your wacky one after. Tell us your wacky one.
I was going to say Remy the Rat.
Remy the Rat. You want me to tell you mine?
Yeah, go for
Mine is easy. Okay. You have Chris Evans, Captain America, Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man, Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man, Hugh Jackman, Wolverine.
Okay.
That's
because I'm saying Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man, and I'm saying Black Panther.
Okay.
Here are my other 2. And follow me on this. 1, Rocket Raccoon.
Okay.
And the other one is Captain America, but with John Krasinski as Captain America. That's what I want.
How would you feel if they announced that Chris... Because it sounds like Chris Evans might be done with the role after number 4. Yeah. How would you feel if they announced John Krasinski would be Cap? If
you ever were to check out and I don't recommend it for anyone who doesn't like horror movies, but the new A Quiet Place, which John Krasinski stars and directed in, he could play Captain America. I think I was afraid I wouldn't be able to take him seriously, and it's possible. So,
would you be a little worried that you couldn't separate him from Jim? You'd be worried. I'm seeing Jim.
I mean, that is a worry because the funny thing is, I don't think they ever said. I don't know if they ever said his name in that movie. He didn't have a name in that movie, and so people are just calling him Jim because they didn't say this is
now
Richard.
Now I want to check this on Wikipedia.
I mean, maybe he does canonically have a name, but I don't remember them saying it in the movie.
Do you know what in the Polar Express what the boy's name is?
No, I don't know.
Hero Boy.
Oh, they never said his name.
They never said his name.
Hero Boy.
It's one of the reasons I hate that movie.
Yeah,
what's that movie called again?
What?
A Quiet Place.
Oh, A Quiet Place. Because there was barely any dialogue in the movie. That's part of the reason. maybe they did say it. I just saw it once, and I wasn't really worried about the dialogue. I was just like terrified the whole time. But
his name is Lee.
Well, I don't know if they said it though.
He's the father of Reagan, Marcus, and Beau.
How is there this much lore? How is there that didn't happen in the movie?
Maybe. Did you look at the end credits?
No.
There you go.
Yeah.
He didn't write it, did he?
He wrote one of the he helped at the very end.
Yeah, I saw
one of the
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think sometimes I watch him on The Office. I'm just I think it could work.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he can play a serious role.
Yeah.
The thing we if no one believed that we could fall down that rabbit hole,
I didn't think it was possible this episode.
It's impossible not to. I mean, we did it. We fell down that rabbit hole. An endless spiral into madness.
Yes. And I'm proud of what we accomplished.
Yep. And it's called Comment Section.
Yes.
It's with us. And as always,
yes,
for hours.
Always and forever.
Keep falling down that rabbit hole.